Hi and welcome. My name is Polly, and today's practice is called Surrender to the Flow. To me, surrendering to the flow means moving slowly, placing my hands and feet with intention, and coordinating breath to movement. So it's almost like a slow dance, and the breath becomes your dance partner as you move in and out of poses, and also as you stay in poses. In my own practice, I know when I do a flow like this that it helps me tap into a deeper awareness. It helps me become more present to what my body needs and how my body wants to move on any given day. So today we're going to flow. It's a full body practice, but we'll focus mostly on the hips, the fronts, the outer hips, and also some attention to the lower back. We will start with a warm up, move through a flow sequence, and then end with a sweet shavasana. You'll want at least one or two blocks at the front of your mat and a blanket. And if you're going to flow with the musical playlist on Spotify that's sent out, you can go ahead and get that started now. Of course, you're always welcome to play any music that you'd like. So let's get started in downward facing dog. I recommend taking the blanket and separating it one time, two time, and placing it across the middle of your mat. Go ahead and start off in downward facing dog. And in your downward facing dog, tune into the breath. Hands and feet are nice and spread apart. Take a deep in breath and a deep exhale, deep out breath. Knowing that the breath is a way to help us to be more present, to be more aware, to lower stress, and also to take care of yourself. So on an inhale, fill the body with breath. Expand through the waistline. Come slightly forward into your fingertips, and then melt the chest towards the mat. On an exhale, lift the hips by tilting the pelvis forward, and then extend from the hips down the back of the legs, heels towards the mat. Nice. Lower the right foot 45 degrees and really bend the left knee. Reach out through the right hip. So we're getting into the outer right hip here. Full breath in and full breath out. And come back to center and we'll switch it out. Left foot 45 degrees, bend the right knee. Really kind of twist open so you're pressing up and out through the left hip crease. Pressure is even through both hands, especially through the index fingers and thumbs. And then come back to center to your downward facing dog. On an inhale, move forward to high plank, almost like it's a wave. Look forward, and then exhale, lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. One more time, just like that. Come up onto the tippy toes, lift the hips, roll forward, look forward, high plank, navel draws up, core is engaged. And then exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Lower your knees, mat width distance apart, to your blanket. Big toes touch and sit back in child's pose. Lower the forehead to your blanket or the mat. And check in with the breath. You'll come back up onto your hands for what I like to call an extended cow pose. So shoulders come past the wrist and you look up on an inhale And then exhale, little doga here. Press the hips back to child's pose. And let's flow breath to movement. Inhale, extended cow pose, look up. And exhale, release. And maybe your child's pose just comes to here. And you go back to your cow. Inhale, look up. And exhale, release. Two more flowing. Inhale, look up. And exhale to fold. Last one. Beginning to get into the hips, the front of the hips. Just noticing how they feel today. And come back to center, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift the right leg, bend the right knee, heel the bum, I should say. And we'll take some hip circles here. So this type of practice, when we're focusing on poses that open the hips and strengthen the hip joint, can have a lot of benefits. Can help with range of motion, can help lower, or I should say decrease lower back pain. Come back to center, bring knee to nose, and step through low lunge, right feet to the hands, foot to the hands, left knee to the blanket. Low lunge, drag energetically the front heel forward and the back knee, you're squeezing in energetically. Option to come to lizard's pose or stay upright. For lizard, walk the right foot out to the outside edge of the mat. Stay up on your fingers or bring your forearms to a block or the mat. Lower chin to chest and go inside for a moment. So another benefit of hip opening can be to, as we mentioned, reduce stress, to take care of yourself, to feel a bit more grounded, to let go of some stories that you may be telling yourself. We tend to hold some of those emotions in our hips. We'll come back to center. Toe heel the right foot back towards center. Lift the back knee. And on an inhale, reach the right hand high for a twist. So you're twisting from the torso, not the head and neck. And we'll flow by exhaling, drawing the right arm underneath the front leg, curling in as if you're doing cat pose. And then inhale, open up. Exhale. And these can be done by lowering the left knee as well. One more, inhale and exhale. Bring the right hand back to the mat. Step the right foot back to high plank. Look forward as you lower knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, cobra pose. Baby cobra or lift the gaze. Exhale, lower forehead to mat. Tuck the toes, come to all fours, and then downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Bend the knee, heel to butt. And we'll take the hip circles on this side. 3 or 4 in one direction, and 3 or 4 in the other. Come back through center, and then step the left foot to your hands. Right knee lowers to the blanket. Low lunge. Get a stretch through the right iliopsoas muscle here. And then stay upright or toe heel the left foot out to the edge of the mat for lizard pose. Good option is to use a block and lower chin down. Relax the neck and the head. You can even come onto the outer edge of the left foot for a deeper stretch. And come back to your fingers. Take the block out in front of you. Left foot comes back to center. Lift the right knee And inhale, left hand lifts for the twist, and we'll flow. Exhale, curl in like a cat. Hips can lift an inch. And then inhale, twist open to the left. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, open up. We'll go two more. Option to lower the right knee down. Really nice. Plant the hands, step back, high plank. Look forward as you lower knees, chest and chin. Inhale, cobra pose, your cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to high plank, and then lower one forearm and then the other for a forearm plank hold. Nice. So lower the hips so the torso is parallel with the mat. Navel draws up and in. Tailbone shoots down towards your heels. There's a softness in the upper back, so you don't want to round. Little softness. And we'll add some flow here by bending the right knee and then the left. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. You got it. Keep it going. Three more. Last one. Nice. Lower to the mat for Sphinx pose. Make number 11 with your forearms. Energetically draw the elbows back towards your hips. Lift the chin, tilt the head. Whew. And then take a lazy Sphinx, chin to chest. Nice. Come up to all fours. And you can set the blanket aside for now. Always nice to use a blanket for that warm up because self-care and we deserve it. Nice. So we're going to walk our feet to our hands, but with intention. So it's a really slow walk, like an elephant walk to the front of the mat. What we're going to do is come up onto the tippy toes, lift the right foot. Before you step it forward, really suck the head of the femur into the hip socket. Makes it happy, increases range of motion. And then step it forward. Lift the left toes, left foot. Plug the femur into the hip socket. And then step it forward. Nice and slow. You're probably up on your tippy toes by now. So with each step, you suck it back into the hip. I'm going to come up to my fingers too here. And then nice and slow, come to standing at the front of the mat. Slight bend in the knees. Option to bring blocks in here to bring the earth to you. Inhale, halfway lift. And think about dragging the hands back towards your body to extend through the spine. Hips and I should say hip creases keep going back. And then exhale, press the blocks away energetically as you fold in. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, fingers draw back. And exhale to fold. One more, flow with breath. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up with a flat back. Hands to the sky. Look up. And exhale, hands to heart. Nice. Inhale, reach the hands high. Right fingertips to left wrist. Inhale for length. And then exhale to the right. Stay here or weight down through the right foot. Lift the left and step it behind you for a little dancing Krishna pose. Use your right hand to pull up through the left and get a stretch down through the left side body, even down to the IT band. And come back through center, release the grip, and we'll switch it out. Left hand to right wrist, inhale. Exhale, sway to the left. Root down through the left foot, pick up the right, step it behind you. And you may find that one side is more tight, well, it probably is tighter. You can always pause the video and go back to that side and do it twice. And come back through center and take hands to heart. We'll move through one sun salutation A together. Inhale, reach the hands high, and exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step one foot and then the other to high plank. Inhale and hold. Exhale, lower knees, chest, and chin. Untuck the toes. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Pause here in down dog for 3 full rounds of breath. Next, in breath, step one foot and then the other, halfway lift, and exhale to fold. Inhale, reach high, and exhale, hands to heart. Bend the knees, Utkatasana or chair pose. Hip creases, lean back, the weights in the heels, strengthening the back body. We'll move through a sun bee variation. Inhale to stand tall, and exhale, send the hip creases back, chest forward. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, step one foot and then the other. Option for chaturanga on your knees or just hit the deck. Inhale, cobra pose, and exhale to downward facing dog. Next, inhale, right foot steps between the hands. Pause, make sure your feet are hip width or wider. Right knee's tracking over right ankle, and the right hip crease is drawing back. On an inhale, reach the hands high. And we'll take that same side stretch, right hand to left wrist. Inhale for length, and exhale, sway to the right. Inhale back to center, release the bind. And exhale, open arm twist to the right. Inhale, sweep the hands up. And exhale, hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps forward. Pause and set up your foundation. Inner thighs hug to the midline, keeping that strength in the lower body. Reach up from the pelvis through the heart, all the way through the arms and fingers. And we'll take the side stretch. Loop the left fingers over the right wrist and sway to the left. Inhale back to center, release, and exhale for the twist, left hand behind. Keep drawing the left hip back. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Lower. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Nicely done. Inhale, look forward to the hands. Bend the knees. And exhale, step or float front of the mat. Halfway lift, flat back. And exhale to fold. Bend the knees, coming back into chair pose. And we're going to take it right into a twist. Hands to heart, and then left elbow to the left knee, outside of the left knee. Belly button twist to the right. Catch your breath. Notice that the breath can shorten a twist. Take a deep breath in, or as deep as you can, and deep breath out. Inhale back to center, and we'll take it right into the second side. Right elbow to the right thigh or outside of the right knee. Twist open to the left. About 3 breaths. Inhale back to center, and exhale to fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Soften the knees to rise up. And then exhale, lower the arms by your sides, hands to heart center. Step the right foot out, coming into a setup for wide-legged forward fold or Prasarita Padottanasana. On an inhale, get long from your pelvis to your shoulders. And then on an exhale, think about sending the thighs back, chest forward. Option to bring the blocks in here as you fold in. Now we're focusing on our hips, so start to take some tiny movements with the hips, and you can see, well, if you're looking at me, that my hips are very tight. It's something that I work on a daily basis. And if you have been a runner or a biker or played sports, or in your daily life, sitting at a desk or driving is part of your normal routine, you may have some tightness here too. So we're just taking any movement to lubricate the hip joints, working on the range of motion. And then we're all going to meet here in Skandasana. So turn the right toes out, bend the right knee over the right toes. You may still have your blocks or not. I'm going to set mine to the side. I'm going to reach my hands out in front of me and just allow my hips to go towards the back, off the mat. So I'm really rooting my femurs into the hip sockets. Hopefully that should feel pretty good. Walk the hands back towards the torso, come back with straighten-ish legs. Left toes turn out, left knee bends. We'll take that same stretch. Lower chin to chest, go inside for a minute. A moment, I should say. And then walk the hands back towards the torso, and let's flow that. Exhale, Skandasana to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, Skandasana to the left. One more. Inhale, center. And exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Turn over the left shoulder. And step the right foot forward and come up standing. Nicely done. We'll move through a flow sequence here. No rush, even though we'll be combining certain poses. Fill the body with breath. And on the exhale, feel rooted, especially through the right foot. We'll bend the knees. For standing figure 4, bring hands to heart center. Come up onto your left tippy toes. And then cross the left ankle over the right knee. Hip creases send back. The more you sit down in this pose, the deeper the stretch in the outer left hip muscles. Lift through the chest. Next pose is going to be half staff. So press down through the right foot as you come to standing. Hands stay at heart, left knee to chest. Find a focal point in front of you. In breath here. And on an exhale, we'll float back to warrior three variation with hands behind. Keep a soft bend in the right knee, press down like crazy through the right big toe mound. Legs scissor towards one another, and then extend out through the left toes. Rebend the right knee, step way back with the left foot, land it, and inhale, come on up to crescent. Exhale, hands to the mat. And I forgot to say this, but there's an option to bring the blanket back into play to pad the knee. You'll lower down onto the left knee. And for Anjaneyasana, sweep the hands high. Exhale, lower hands to the mat. Keep the left fingertips buoyant and bring the right hand to the inner right thigh. Squeeze the legs in and then twist to the right. Stay here or bend the back knee. Reach for the outside of the left foot for a low lunge with a twist, or sometimes people call it twisted monkey, which I love. Kick into the right hand with the left foot. And if you dial the tailbone down, you'll get a deeper stretch to the left quadricep muscles in front of the left hip. Nice. Release softly. Hands come back to frame the right foot. Lift the left knee. Step the right foot back, high plank, and then lower. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, cobra pose. And exhale to downward facing dog. Whew. Catch your breath. Remember that this is a breath practice as much as it is a movement practice, if not more so. Next, inhale, look forward and step or float, feet to hands. Halfway lift and exhale to fold. Inhale, bend the knees again. We'll move through the same sequence on the second side. So shift the weight to the left foot, hands come to heart. Cross the right ankle over the left knee for standing figure four. Lift through the chest. Send the hip creases back. And then press into the left foot for half staff, come to standing. Focus on one point in front of you. Inhale here. And exhale, glide it back. Warrior three. Left leg is sturdy. Hug into the midline. And then extend like crazy through the right big toe. The lifted leg. Soften the left knee. Wobble if you need. And then step back with the right foot. High crescent lunge. Lower hands to the mat and right knee down. Inhale, sweep the hands eyes. You lift through the sternum. Look up for Anjaneyasana. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Stay on the right fingertips. Left hand to inner left thigh. Twist to the left. Stay here or take the variation of bending the back knee, reaching for the outside of the left foot. Release, come back to your low lunge. Step the left foot back to high plank and lower through your vinyasa. Step halfway up the mat and come down seated with legs out in front. Whew, how you feeling? Heading into a cool down here. We'll take it in Janu Shirshasana. Bend the right knee and open it out to the side. Left hand comes out to your side, right hand lifts high. Twist the torso over the straight leg. And on an exhale, fold forward, reaching for the outside of the left calf, ankle, or foot. Back is flat. And then hinge forward as long as you can maintain that flat back. Lower chin to chest. Come back to the breath. Inhale, come up. For stargazer, place the right hand behind you. Bend the left knee, place it towards the inside of the right foot. We'll press into the right hand, lift the hips, like a heart opener, look up. And then exhale, come back to seated. Awesome. Felt good. Shake out the legs. Second side, Janu Shirshasana. Bend the left knee and open it out to the left side. Right hand comes out to the side like a little flying buttress, and it helps twist you over the straight leg. Left hand lifts and exhale to fold, going just as far as you can maintain a flat back. And then chin lowers to chest. Come inside to the breath, acknowledging that taking time on your mat is taking time for self-care, for giving back to yourself, for filling your cup, for putting the oxygen mask on first so that you can then help others get their oxygen masks on so that you can give back. This is all necessary. It's all important stuff we're doing. Inhale to come up. For stargazer, left hand behind, bend the right knee. Don't think about it too much. Just lift the right hand, lift the hip. Ooh, and then come back through center and to downward facing dog. Inhale forward to high plank. And exhale, lift the hips up and back, down dog. Half pigeon, right knee to right wrist. Tuck the back toes. Send the left leg an inch or two longer behind you. Come up onto the fingertips. Option to stay upright or take a resting pigeon by walking the hands forward, coming to forearms, or reaching the hands out in front may feel good, and lowering the forehead to a block or the mat. Allow there to be a softness through the upper back. And then draw the hands back below your shoulders. Tuck the back toes. And on an inhale, lift all the way up into down dog split. Bend the right knee to open the hip. There's an option here to come into wild thing. Nice and slow. Step the right foot behind, left leg straightens, lift through the heart, open the chest, and reach through the right fingertips. Whew, curl it back. And then downward facing doggy. Send the hips up and back, rooting the femurs. And then step the left knee to the left wrist. So it's angled out at about a 45-degree angle. Back toes tuck under, and you slide the right leg back. Tall spine. Stay here. And if there's any knee issues, I recommend taking hands below blocks. Or you may choose to come into more restful pigeon, a more restorative pigeon, coming to forearms or forehead to the mat. Think we've been here as long as the first side. If not, call me out. Hands below shoulders, lift up slowly, tuck the back toes, and lift to down dog split. Bend the top knee. Stay here or step back into Kamatkarasana or wild thing. Straighten the right leg, peel back, and then come back through your downward facing dog. Walk your feet halfway up the mat and come down seated. Bring soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. I like to take my hands by my hips, lift them, and send them back. Again, rooting the femurs. Lift through the heart. I'm going to stay lifted. My knees are pretty high up off the mat. But if your knees are closer down to the mat, you may choose to fold forward. Wherever you are, come back to the breath. Come back to your dance partner as you flow in and out. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Bring hands to your knees. Close them up. And then we'll shift our torso forward and come down lying on our backs. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And we'll take Supta Baddha Konasana. So same thing, but lying down. There's an arch in the lower back. Soles of the feet press in. And knees open up out to the sides. And from here, release any control or stylization you have with the breath. Just allow the air to flow naturally. Feel the skin of the forehead soften. Eyes close down. Cheekbones soft. Maybe a little part to your lips to loosen the jaw. Allow the neck muscles to release. Shoulders to soften. Gravity takes over. Feel free to stay here or straighten the legs for Shavasana. Begin to deepen the inhale, filling the lungs, and take an open mouth exhale. Draw one knee in and then the other, and roll to one side. Pause here using your bicep as a pillow, and take a moment to acknowledge that taking time out for self-care is so important, and you did it. Thank yourself. Press your hands into the mat as you rise to seated with closed eyes or maintaining a soft gaze. Bring hands to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me today in community. Namaste.